Hello, beautiful people. How you doing? Hi, I'm Absa. Welcome to the AFL. If you are new, hit the like button, share the live, and welcome to you. It's good to have you. We have a lot of new or first-time viewers pretty much every time we go live, and I would love it if you would hit the like button and subscribe so that, I'm in your feed on a regular and you can get the updates on all of the good and bad foolishness going on out there in the good old world. Yes. Welcome to everybody who's watching. Shout out to all the members and the subscribers and the supporters in all of the places. Shout out to all the Docket Fund supporters. You're literally why we're here this morning. I know I say that, but it's true. You're literally why we are here this morning. I want to say a shout out to everybody who hit up the post tab and read a statement that I posted yesterday, which I'm not going to discuss here. So if you came here for that, stay for why we're actually here. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can read that on your good old time. Thank you. That's pretty much all I have to say at this point in time. Shout out to 72 having fun for the super chat. Appreciate you. Shout out to Nessa Moon. Drake is consistently draining the Docket Fund. Gotta re-up. LOL. This is such facts. He is, yes. Especially over the past 36 hours. Thank you for your support, beautiful. Because let me tell you something, and I know a lot of you are gonna be like, sure, girl, sure. Despite the content on this channel, I don't think about Drake, and I don't go looking for information about him or his companies, with the exception of the last 24 to 36 hours, where I actually did go looking. If you are new here, we have been reading a docket out of British Columbia where Drake's OVO is being sued by an investment firm over an investment deal gone bad. Okay, let's put it that way. Drake's a majority owner of the companies that have been involved with this investment firm. And apparently they got in bed together based on the fact that some of Drake's companies are in trouble with, I believe it's the Royal Bank of Canada. So they need some emergency, funding. If you have heard that OVO is being sold and wondering, is that involved in this? Maybe. Maybe to be determined, okay? To be determined. Shout out to Graduated Thought for supporting the Docket Fund. Thank you for keeping me awake and sane at work. Beloved, you're welcome. Thank you for your support. Hold on. Wait. Oh, damn. Okay. All of a sudden, things are coming in. Okay. Bing 6010. Oh, I screwed up my poll answer. I love you for identifying yourself because the chat would catch it. Okay. The chat would be like, who said it? Who did it? So I love you for outing yourself. I screwed up my poll answer. I did, in fact, hit the like button. Thank you very much. Appreciate you very much. Shout out to Quality in the chat and any other distinguished guests we may have. Thank you for your support of the Docket Fund. And for your support in general. And you are correct, I do not give you that power. but I'm gonna email you and we'll have a conversation. And I'm just gonna leave it there. Thank you, beautiful, for your contribution to the docket. Oh boy. Y'all just decided you're gonna knock it out. Okay, well, shout out to everybody who's watching. Hit the like button, share the live. Another distinguished guest. Skip! Good to see you. Come on through, distinguished guests. Shout out to everybody who is watching. Hit the like button. Okay, so as I was saying before, I was so politely and generously interrupted by the super chats. Thank you so much. What was I saying? Oh, right. Drake's companies appear to be in significant financial trouble with a bank in Canada. Much love and appreciation to you, beautiful. For all of them coming through so that I can get on a roll here. I know people are like, she ain't even twerking with a dictionary and y'all throwing money at her. Yes, they are, beloved, because they understand, okay? They invest in what they value. Yeah. It's docket fund day. Apparently so. Okay. Let me get going here. So we have learned that. And in learning that about his troubles, we had some fantastic reads of documentation here on this channel. I encourage you to run it back, and mods will drop the link of when we discovered this whole British Columbia lawsuit situation. And we read it and discovered that there initially were two buckets of money, two investments initially. One of them is what the lawsuit is over. The other one has been settled, but not before being defaulted on, and the collateral that Drake had put up for that loan. So yeah, one investment, one loan. The assets that Drake had put up for that loan that he defaulted on was OVO's logo and OVO's name. And we had a time with that discovery because I typically don't read documents before I come here and read them with you so that we're all surprised together, beloved, okay? And we've had several of those moments happen. So the last time we gathered, I had checked the very expensive docket in Canada, which is ridiculous. I paid $16 for one piece of paper. Yes, I did. It hurt. Okay. So when the chat says this boy be draining the docket fund, this boy be draining the docket fund. And we cover a lot of different cases here. A lot of them are Drake related, but a lot of them are not. So there was a new filing on the docket in response to the British Columbia lawsuit. It is not yet the response to the British Columbia lawsuit. It's more of a procedural potential delay tactic. And I'm bringing you up to speed because after that, and after like having some time for that to just kind of like bounce around in my brain, because it brought up jurisdiction, that's what the procedural step is. I just started thinking about jurisdiction in general and where has Drake been sued? So I started looking for where has Drake been sued, right? And I found a lot of lawsuits. I found a lot of lawsuits. As a matter of fact, we almost talked about another gambling lawsuit. That's what this was almost about. But then as I was just kind of doing my research and figuring out, okay, where has he been sued? Where is he actively being sued? I then, after another half a day or so, thought to myself, well, I've never looked up October's very own. I've just always looked up Drake. Maybe I should look up October's very own and see where they're being sued. And that brings us to the title of this live, which some people think is hyperbole. Yes, I said hyperbole. Some people think it's hyperbole. It's literal. It's literal. I went looking for where is OVO being sued, and instead I found this. This is October's very own against U.S. Customs and Border Protection and the United States of America. So effectively, yeah. Mhm. Yeah, 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 yeah. This limited partnership company that Drake surely owns at least part of, probably a controlling, percentage of, is literally suing the United States of America. Okay. I will come back to the super chats. Thank you to the folks who are also gifting memberships. Appreciate you. He's suing the USA. Yes, he is suing the United States of America. You're free to guess what this lawsuit is about, and you can choose for yourself. Do you want to try and go for the right answer, or do you want to guess a wrong answer? I don't really care. Let's have a little bit of fun before we get into this dry-ass document, and I tell you what it's about. Right or wrong answers only. What do you think this man is suing over? The whole US of A, from the rooter to the tutor, baby, from the rooter to the tutor. He's suing all of us. He's suing all of us. I'm a United States citizen. He's suing me. Scrap. You being sued. Gee, I'm screaming that he really said, you know what? Fuck America. Obstruction's very own is very good. That's very good. Aubrey is suing the United States because the blacks don't accept him. World defamation. I love this so much. Did not receive a red hat. His right to say the N-word. Now, we in mixed company now. We in mixed company. You got me out here in front of all these people, okay? People, hit the like button. Hit the like button. He's suing for the tuna sandwich. Child, he already here. I mean, in general, I agree. Fuck America. But why you say fuck me for? Yeah, yeah. Banned stripper poles. The red card is hilarious. Child, he was flown over Missouri without his permission. That's an inside joke. It makes sense here. Migratory Bird Act violations. You think he's an environmentalist? Is that what you're saying? I'm putting cases on all y'all. Wow. Mind yours, 2811. Now I have a personal reason to hate Drake. Apparently. Restrictions on BBLs. Now that's not nice. We don't body shame here. Him's feelings hurt. Yeah. Oh gosh. Whew. Customs keeps holding up them pooper scoopers. Yeah, I wonder what distribution center his stuff is at. That's a really good point. That's a really good point. Limited man units. Y'all are brutal. Wait, this is real, real? He's suing you. 72 having fun. The Statue of Liberty is a woman. Makes sense. He both uses and hates us. Woo! Why can't I Google anything about it? Well, you'll be able to after this live, beloved, because the reason why I changed the topic for the live is because I Googled this too. And you know what I realized? I realized nobody has talked about this, but somebody has it, but nobody has talked about this. I said, I have an exclusive. Yeah. Yeah. Why can't I Google anything about it? I have an exclusive, beloved. Yes, I decided I'm going to take this dry ass lawsuit and I'm going to make some news out of it. Okay. Because what do we do here? We read dockets. And here's one that somebody hasn't read. This man's suing all y'all and me. Ah, I'm going to get to it, Shirley. I'm going to get to it. Whew, gosh, y'all put me through it right there. Y'all put me through it. Okay. So as I will come back to your super chats. Thank you. I don't know why this is so funny, but first of all, I hear all of these in my head. Okay. I hear these and I heard this one. Okay. How dare he? Oh my God. Ah, whew. Okay, okay. All right now. This is serious now. Shout out to everybody who's watching. Hit the like button, share the live. Make sure you change your chat settings from top chat to live chat so you can see all this foolishness and participate, if you are one to partake. You are welcome here if you partake. You're welcome here if you don't partake, okay? Okay? Because we're going to have a good time. We're going to kiki, but we're going to keep it to the facts, okay? I was a dazed, and I'm going to tell you why I was a dazed. So let me tie this together. Now that you have seen the proof that I am not lying and that the title of this live was not, clickbait of me trying to get your attention. This man's suing all of us in the United States of America and territories. There are several layers as to why I think this is an interesting conversation to have, right? Number one, tangentially, it does give us other insight into what is happening with OVO companies, right, in relation to the lawsuit in British Columbia that I just talked about and that the mods shared in the chat. You can run it back. Also, there's been a lot of conversation. Okay, look closely at that thumbnail. Look closely at that thumbnail. What's between them two men's in the background? Look closely at that. Okay. Oh, we've had a long-standing conversation here, as well as the internet has had a lengthy conversation about Drake's MAGA status, right? And you can come at the topic several different levels. His lyrics, his overall anti-Black Americanness, his beef with certain artists, okay, who he hangs out with, okay, 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 the values of the persona that are put forward for us to see. Um, and then Iceman came out and That happened, brought it all up again, right? Brought it all up again. And my reaction to seeing this was first of all, I was so stunned when I found this lawsuit that I was like, "Is there another October's Very Own?" And then I already know the answer to that, like, reasonably and rationally, I already know the answer to that, right? Because that would be a trademark dispute if there were, and that would have been public, and it would have been settled by now. There's only one October's Very Own. There are several subsidiaries and partners and limited partnerships and little offshoots of OVO, but OVO is OVO, okay? Okay? So if this is not the OVO, child, I don't know who else it could be, okay? This is OVO. After all of your guesses, I saw somebody put it in before you started doing your fun guesses, right? Your for funsies guesses. I saw somebody say, "Is this over tariffs?" Yes, this is over tariffs. Now, some of you are gonna be like, "That's settled. I'm out." Nope. No, it's not settled, and that's why this lawsuit has not been withdrawn. It's not settled, okay? So let me walk you through what happened with tariffs and get us to a very specific point on that because you're like, walk with me, beloved. Okay. Um, the technical issue with tariffs is that once they are collected, they go through a multi-step process internally within the United States government. And the final step of that multi-step process is known as liquidation. And in the simplest terms, that is when it comes out of its holding where your company's money is being held and it is identified as your company's money. Liquidation means it passes through a nice little portal and gets dumped into the United States coffers, and then it's just the money. And there is no technical procedural step to withdraw it after that. So the reason why this case went to the Supreme Court is number 1, the tariffs were illegal. But number 2, the reason why thousands of lawsuits were filed against the United States of America is because of that step. And there is an opportunity for companies to ask the United States government, don't do liquidation. And the United States government can say yes or no. And a bunch of companies started filing with the government saying, don't liquidate my shit. Because one of these cases is making its way, a lawsuit for the tariffs being illegal is making its way to the Supreme Court. And it's likely going to be found that the tariffs are illegal. And the government said, no, when your date comes up for liquidation, and this all happens on a rolling basis, it's a constant rolling basis. When your date comes up for liquidation, we're liquidating your shit. And so companies started suing immediately. We read a Costco lawsuit here because it was one of the most comprehensive and easy to understand. It put us in a new court that we had not been in before, and we were learning new things together. And we're continuing to learn new things together about that process. So when the government said, nope, we're going to liquidate your shit and just pour your money into the morning and then money into the money. And then after that, oops, it's, sorry, we can't give back all the money. We can only give back what's in procedural holding, right? So the ruling came out from the Supreme Court that the tariffs are illegal. And then the judge in that case that wound up going to the Supreme Court said, okay, United States government, you have to pay back everybody's money. I don't care what stage it's in. You have to pay back everybody's money. And there's also an argument about interest on what was paid. This is very important, okay? because interest can be to the tune of millions of dollars. So there's the matter of interest, and companies want their money back plus interest. So there are a lot of companies that are like, well, we don't care if we get the baseline back from the government. Even if they find a way to restore everything, if they only give us what they illegally took from us, we're still going to sue them for the interest of what it is that they took from us. So this court that originally had this case, right, that wound up, going to the Supreme Court, has come back down to this court. And the government's position is after the Supreme Court said the tariffs are illegal, the government's position to the lower federal court is you don't have the authority to tell us to give all of the money back. Enter OVO's lawsuit. So as somebody else pointed out in the chat, this was filed in January. What happened in January? Yeah, child, ain't nobody talked about it because you're listening to it and you're like, boring. But what happened in January? I'm going to get to that. One more thing, okay? When the government set up its portal for companies to make claims, and I'm tying this back to the this, okay? When the government set up the portal finally for companies to submit their receipts to get a refund, basically, Donald Trump said he was furious, period. I know he's furious about a lot of things, and that probably seems like a really long time ago. It really wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't that long ago. It was a couple months ago. But Donald Trump explicitly came out and said that the companies that were trying to get their money back were terrible. And that he would specifically remember the companies that did not try to get their money back. Like, if you let me have your money now, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, I'll give you a $14 million no bid contract later. OVO, on the other hand, is suing the United States of America for all of its money back plus interest. So even if OVO has gone through the process already, we don't know that the portal is not public information. We only know what the government reports out that it has paid out, and I think they say the total amount is like 60 billion and 20 billion has been processed. I don't know if that means paid. Okay. And there's still the argument of interest. And this whole thing is, so while they're processing things, they're still fighting in court that we don't have to pay anything that has been liquidated. OVO's lawsuit then covers two outstanding issues, which is even if we get back what was in holding, that doesn't cover what has been liquidated, and that doesn't cover interest. So what these thousands of companies did was they filed their lawsuits based on when they were denied a pause by the government to not liquidate their shit. They filed a lawsuit before liquidation so that they could mark it in time. Literally sequencing matters. We have to file this by a certain date in order to be able to claim this later, to fight this later. And so OVO sued U.S. Customs and Border Protection and the United States of America because they were about to hit a liquidation point. Now, it would appear, because this lawsuit is still active, right? It hasn't moved because nothing has happened on it, because the court is still fighting the parties, this original lawsuit that went to the Supreme Court, and the government are still fighting in federal court over whether or not they really do have to pay back all of the money, including everything that has been liquidated, including anything that October's very own merchandising US paid in tariffs, which was we don't know. There's no dollar amount in here, but it is a marker in time for them to, if this doesn't get settled over here, then we're gonna have to sue. Be clear, the judge's initial position was you have to pay everything back, and the federal government's position was, that's overbroad, and the Supreme Court didn't say that. And it doesn't matter. The Supreme Court didn't need to say that. They're being intentionally difficult, right? Because the president of the United States does not like to lose. Like, he just lost the 5.8 million judgment Eugene Carroll appeal after appeal after appeal. He tried to take that to the Supreme Court. They denied him. The judge in the lower court ordered the money to be released. He filed an appeal. He doesn't want to, you know what I mean? Like, he's one of those from my cold dead hands kind of people. And while we would love that, sir, until that day comes, he's going to be doing this, whatever legal procedural thing he can do to not actually have to pay money that a court says the government has to pay. And so the government could owe OVO, the United States, could owe Drake a couple $100,000. They could owe millions of dollars. So I think it's interesting that we know the president and his cronies and his administration, they literally do keep lists. And so for people who are like, even me, who are like, God, we're just waiting for the day where Drake just pops up in a photo in the Oval Office. We're just waiting we're like, how bad does the situation have to get before he does that, right? We've had that conversation here, like, oh boy, how close are we to that? Something like this, because the president is petty, he would not like it. He would want it addressed favorably, to his favor, whatever that is in his mind, before we would see that Oval Office photo op, right? So I thought that was interesting as well. It's like, wow, they're literally suing the United States of America over something that the president is dug in about and will literally fight until his last day in the Oval Office or his last day on Earth, whatever comes first. We are talking about sequencing after all. We're just talking about sequencing, okay? That's all we're talking about, just sequencing. But I don't know. I thought those things were interesting. What do you think, chat? What do you think? I think it's very, very interesting. It also is, again, like, tangentially, tariffs were depending on where businesses do businesses or what it is they need to import or export, materials wise, right? Tariffs have been disastrous for businesses. You're looking at, a 30 to 300% jump in costs, like, overnight, because somebody's mad and posted some shit on X. And if you're already down bad, and we've established it's established, okay? We've seen enough on the docket that the companies are down bad. If you're already down bad, that really doesn't help you. And so their OVO's merchandising US, it's slapped in the gut 1000% by this, because they import and export merchandising. So it's a problem. It's a problem. And it was a problem on top of a problem. You're already down bad, and then just overnight, you're every time this man mad, he's changing, the tariff is 10%, the tariff is 25%, the tariff is 35%. And you wake up one day and your costs are through the roof. Through the roof. Faster than you can adjust reasonably. You literally sold some shit one day based on one tariff, but now you got to ship it. So that's done. You've already collected the money. Now you got to deal with the shipping of it under a higher tariff because he was mad again from one day to the next. Like red line, red numbers, just a sea of red. It's bad, 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 bad. Well, I'll say this. Honestly, I don't feel like I'm gonna read this to you because it's not even as comprehensive. It's 17 pages. It's not even as comprehensive as the Costco one. It's really just like we're dropping our pin in, we're staking our claim right here, right now, before we lose all of this money, which could again be hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars that the government says it just suddenly can't pay back after a certain point, which is fucking ludicrous, but whatever. Before that happens, we have to stake our claim to it legally. So this is very very dry, very like, this is the tariffs, this is what happened, this is what liquidation is. Sometimes tariffs are adjusted after the fact, and there's a final valuation and what the process is. Liquidation, unless extended by customs, must happen within 1 year of the date of entry. So, and again, this is happening on a rolling basis, right? Every time you're selling something and shipping it, like you're doing this on a rolling basis. So, everything that I just told you about the process of liquidation, like it's held for a certain amount of time, it goes through these procedural steps, and then it goes into liquidation unless a company, appeals and says, please hold it. And the government says yes. And obviously the government, as soon as it realized that tariffs were in legal jeopardy, they immediately started denying companies just at large. No, we're not going to hold your tariffs. Basically just to please the president, to be able to say to him like, well, there's a gotcha point where we did get some money that we will never be able to give back. And the courts are like, no. But the first fight is that the government is arguing, even after the Supreme Court said these tariffs are illegal, the government is arguing that the court does not have the power to tell them what they do and what they don't have to pay back. And the court is like, you got to pay back everything. Everything. I don't care what pot it sits in, you have to pay back everything. And the government is like, well, we don't know if we can. We don't know if we agree with that, and we don't know if we can. So this is OVO's marker in time for them to get it off. And I don't really know, because the government is so effective at fuckery. I don't really know if the tariff situation is actually going to be addressed without having to go back to the Supreme Court. So Drake's lawsuit is literally waiting. Okay, there's a blanket order on, because don't think companies aren't still suing the government as if the ruling didn't even happen. You know what I mean? It's like, well, they're still not gonna pay us back all our money, so we still have to sue, right? So, um, if you will recall, when the Supreme Court, maybe you don't, but when the Supreme Court said, "You can't do this, these tariffs are illegal," Donald Trump immediately issued another blanket order of tariffs. So, there's a whole 'nother wave of the exact same thing happening again. So that's gonna go its track, but this one that now, well, I guess Drake would be impacted, or OVO would be impacted by both of those waves of tariffs. Um, yeah, because the government is so effective at fuckery, and because they know Donald Trump doesn't want to part with a fucking nickel, not a nickel, nothing, that they're gonna fight companies tooth and nail in court until they are literally forced to do it. So, this lawsuit will be in play as a part of that. Yeah, because I was like, "This is a whole new bucket of lawyers, Drake." This is a whole new bucket of lawyers, bro. Wow, okay. Shout out to everybody who's watching. We got a nice little bunch here. Hit the like button if you have not already. I mean, he's got problems on problems, right? Drake has a lot of lawsuits. He's got problems on problems. And, having said that, even if his companies weren't having these issues, every company who had to pay tariffs, that was a grift on the American people. And it was a grift on companies. And this is an American company. So, they're owed money. And apparently they need it. They've decided. I mean, it's there are a lot of people and a lot of businesses that can't afford to sue. You know? They're just gonna go through the little portal process, and any money that they can hope to get back, they'll get back, unless there's a class action of smaller companies, which I would love to see, people helping smaller businesses get all of their money back. Um, for a lot of places, it's just a wash. It was liquidated and it's gone, and there's nothing they can do about it, and they were ripped off. So the government deserves all the smoke, baby. I didn't do nothing to you, okay? I didn't do nothing to you. Why you got to sue the whole ass United States of America? But yes, you do sue the whole ass United States of America when it is the profiteer of illegal gains, and that would be the tariffs. So we're all being sued by OVO. The only way he can ever sue Kendrick directly is crazy work. Theodra, thank you. Drake versus Trump, who can lose harder? That's a really good question. Down in Dixie, sorry I'm late, but are you telling me Aubrey is trying to press a whole ass nation for cash? Basically, yes. Nisha Falk, 28. The nerve of you, Aubrey. Demetrius coming through with a helpful reminder to the people. Hit the like button. Avaru? Docket fund getting up there. Here's for the cat food fund. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that little fat butt boy back there. Look at him. Mhm. Nisi, how do we ban him from our lands and territories? 'Cause what? Ugh. Regal love, you're welcome, beautiful. It is a docket fun day. So yeah, I for real, I for real didn't do it. I for real didn't have nothing to do with it. I didn't get none of that money, bro. And I can promise you that the American people are in fact not the ones benefiting from the whole tariff situation, okay? Even you. uh so it's gonna be a long drawn out process of giving my money back from somebody who is a big old baby who literally wears a diaper, falls asleep mid-sentence, you know, bottle of ketchup in one hand and your money in another. You literally ever try and take candy from a baby? That's your money in the president's hands. See that? See that whiny ass baby back there on that record cover? That's who I'm talking about. Shout out to Fateless. Thank you for the gift. It was the first thing that came to mind. It was the first thing that came to mind. Yeah, so I think it's really interesting. I do. I do. I think it's really, really interesting. I did not have that on my I did not have that on my bingo card. I did not have that on my bingo card. I really did not have that on my bingo card. Drake is literally suing the United States of America. Oh gosh. Everybody say OVO. Shout out to everybody who contributed to the docket fund. Appreciate you very, very much. If you're just joining us, OVO is suing Drake for all of his tariff money plus interest, specifically money that the United States basically said, whoopsies, we dropped it into a pot of bigger money and now we can't tell whose money is whose. Oh, well, we think we'll just keep it. So that apparently happened to one of Drake's companies. And yeah, he has sued the entire United States over that. I just think it's so funny. It's so funny coming out of my mouth. Like, just everything we've been through together, you know what I mean? Like, everything that we've been through together, and now I'm literally saying that sentence out of my mouth, and technically it's a righteous lawsuit. Like, I see no problem with it. It's typical. Thousands of other companies have done it, you know what I mean? But it's just literally it's just we're just here to talk about, just to repeat the sentence, Drake is suing the United States of America. OVO is suing the United States of America because they feelings hurt. You know? It's funny. It's just objectively, it's funny. Ah, yeah, it's a serious issue. It's also fucking hilarious. Oh gosh. Ugh, yeah, so good luck, bud. Good luck. You know, good luck. I do think that if this other case is not successful, this OVO lawsuit is not going anywhere. Because now you're paying a whole nother bucket of lawyers. I checked. You know, lawyers specialize in certain things. They're not all covered. You know, he's got one bucket for the UMG lawsuit. He's got another bucket for the appeal. Then he's got another bucket of lawyers for all the gambling lawsuits. He's got a bucket of lawyers every time there's a copyright lawsuit. Now he's got another bucket of lawyers for suing the United States of America. Oh man. Yeah, and I know he watches. So yes, I found it. I found it. Yep, I did. I sure did. I found it. Man, you owe, the Royal Bank of Canada, you owe investing firms and little payday loan people. And you know what I mean? You damn near, you basically, I mean, we're not talking about the embassy because let's be real, he ain't never really there. You put up the name, and the logo for pennies, basically. Basically for pennies. And now you having to pay this bullshit? Oh man, yeah. Problematic. Problematic. You can't pause operations, right? It's not COVID. COVID is the justification for pausing operations. Pausing operations on this means you're broke. And people would have caught wind of that. Like, what you mean you can't afford the tariffs? What's going on with your companies? We would have learned eventually. They broke. You can't pause operations. You're not going to declare bankruptcy, apparently. So, sue poppy. I mean, that's objectively what that logo loan was. It was I need a short term, help me right now. Help me right now. No, we don't. We don't know. It's not in there. But it's cumulative because he wants interest. So I think it's safe to say it's probably a couple $1,000,000. You know. I mean, I don't know. It could be $500,000. Would you sue the United States government for $500,000? I just assume it's a couple million and accumulating. And now I'm guessing also plus lawyers' fees. Or who knows? Their insurance company could be covering the costs of attorneys because this is like above board, straight down the line, totally typical, righteous, like, oh yeah, no, we need to get this. We got it. Here's some lawyers, go get all the money back type situation, right? Furry, did you just call Drake break as in the current tense of broke? What What what, bro? Like, what? What? You know? What? Child, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think this is Amazon warehouse related, because I think one of the benefits, right, of his partnership with Amazon is that they took over distribution. And again, this is very just like technical. We're staking our claim in this. They'll probably have to amend it at some point in time, but that's what this is. You know, I he from what I have found over, my day and a half of actually like looking, um at least at the federal level or anything that has gotten a lot of attention, he has not filed a lot of lawsuits, but he has been sued a lot of times. And his companies have been sued, a couple times and are suing. So, you know, that's the cost of doing business is litigation, unfortunately. But you know, there it is. There it is. Well, Jeff is not actively involved in Amazon, so I'm gonna set that aside. Also not involved in this lawsuit. Also, I wonder if Amazon has sued over tariffs. There's literally thousands of lawsuits over tariffs, so I don't know, and I don't remember it being in the news. Anyway. I mean, it could happen, who knows? It happens. People's businesses go out of business. People deal with bankruptcy. I've had a child that died, so I've dealt with some stuff, right? We're not gonna all pretend that we're financial, saints here. We're financially free. So it happens, but he does seem to have an accumulation of, multiple things happening all at the same time. Multiple things happening all at the same time, and then you put tariffs on top of it, and it's just like, "Damn." You got all these problems, and you're getting ganked by the United States of America. That's rough. That's rough. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, bro. You know? We're a colonizing nation. What do you want? Get used to it. Reggie K 125. Maybe we should countersue. Baby, I said this, like, the day he filed his lawsuit against UMG. I was like, "Can we sue him?" For emotional distress and annoyance. Leave us alone. Why are you always touching me? That you know what I mean? Like, stop. No means no. Consent matters. Yes, I said ganked. How child, I'm Gen X. I'm almost 50 years old. And it was apropos. All the pain and suffering. All the pain and suffering. Ganked is appropriate. I think we all gave him PTSD, quite as kept. I think we all gave him PTSD. Yeah, I think, it gets worse the closer it gets to the source, but it's definitely like, it's definitely like buckshot, you know? Yeah, it's a spread of an impact, not just one, you know, 380 to the chest. It's a spread. We represent the spread. Yeah. It's funny. I've said ganked on here before, and the chat had the exact same reaction. Uh, objectively slapped. Objectively slapped. So that is what is happening. That is why Drake is suing the United States of America, feeling some kind of strong ways about us. Which we already knew, boy. We already knew you felt some kind of way about us, but niggas ain't got it. So like you ain't got nothing left but to sue the government because niggas ain't got a dime for you over the border. Okay, we don't have nothing. Okay, nothing. Shoot, I would have paid you in Harriet Tubman's, but they canceled that bill, so I ain't got nothing for you, baby. Good luck. Whew. Kendrick done cracked his ego down to little pieces, and Americans ran around gathering it up like it was parts of the Berlin Wall after it came down. I got a piece. I know I got a piece up on here. Yeah, baby. BBL Drizzy. Titties for everybody. Mhm. Yep. I give Kendrick and Kendrick only permission to use that line. So, y'all had me literally I could feel my abdominal muscles at the beginning of this live. When I said, "You tell me, why is Drake suing us?" Ooh, boy, I wasn't ready, child. Early in the morning. I mean, I'm sure you can find a lawyer who'll take this case. Well, I mean, I really don't what else is going on, Kat? What else is going on? This was much better than reading another gambling lawsuit about the same people doing allegedly the same jet. I'm glad I kept looking. I didn't it is not on my bingo card. But I know it gives him some kind of, like, psychological satisfaction when he goes to bed at night alone in his big old empty house that floods, and he's thinking to himself, "I'm suing the entire United States of America." Yep, you sure are. You sure are. Look at you. Yes, I am. I am watching the game today. I'm honestly surprised he didn't rap about it. You know? I'm like, maybe he didn't want people to know. Oops. Was I not supposed to tell? Oh, baby, you supposed to tell me that. You supposed to tell me that ahead of time. You supposed to hit the sneaky link number and let me know ahead of time. I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. Was I not supposed to tell anybody you suing the whole ass United States of America? Was it a secret? I'm sorry. I didn't even think about that, quite honestly. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't flex on that. And then I was like, "Oh, maybe he was hoping nobody would pay attention and nobody would know. Oopsies. I'm sorry." Ugh, ugh. It was a well-kept secret. Drake was moving in silence. And giraffes. You're killing me right now. Oh god, you're killing me right now. Yeah, 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 me just busting in. "Hey, guys, did you guys know Drake is suing the United States of America?" Oh god, it's so funny now that I think about it. Oh gosh. Oh, baby, I'm so sorry. Yep, yep, I done told everybody. Ah, oh, man. Oh, baby, we ganked him for some tariff money. He's big mad. He wants all of it back plus interest. I did. Yeah, I think his lawyers are out of Seattle, which made me wonder. Oh, no, these are out of New York. That must have been a different lawsuit that I looked at this morning. These lawyers are out of New York. Um, but yeah, it's still a different lawsuit. I mean, it's still a different law firm than, all of the other law firms that are dealing with all of the Drake things. Drake and Chubbs. Okay. It's been 6 months. Maybe no one noticed. After, look what this boy done did, y'all. Oh gosh. Uh oh wow. We did laugh at him for some time. I'm actually really glad. I'm actually super, 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 super glad that they did this. I'm super glad they did it. I'm super glad it's a, rinky dinky ass nobody cares about airport. I'm super glad. They beat everybody else to it and it belongs there. It belongs there. There were other places and bigger airports that were contemplating it. So, Yeah, it's perfect. I love it. Be grateful. Be grateful, because that shit is square the fuck in Florida. Exactly where it belongs. You're gonna have to run it back, beloved. We're in the LBG at this point in time. Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, Princey is sneezing per as usual. He there could be tons of lawsuits, and there probably are tons of lawsuits in lower courts, um, across, the country. But where I can do like a broad search, I've done that. So I've looked over, quite a few things in the last day, and this was the last thing I saw this morning. Um, and it tickles my funny bone. So I hope it tickles yours too. This is fucking hilarious. Yes. No, this is a different lawsuit, and I covered the one that you're talking about on this channel. I'll come back to this and look it up later. Thanks. So, it's Friday, right? Yeah, it's Friday. We made it. Congratulations. Congratulations to all of us. We made it to Friday. No, I'm probably gonna give that some thought today. After today's match, I will think about who my for funsies prediction is. I mean, obviously, I don't support any colonizing nation, but, the Mbappe situation, I'm just like, I will literally inherit the beef and rock with my boy all the way to that fucking trophy. Fuck that racist lady. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, my allegiance can change quick, fast, and hurry, depend on, what my priorities are. So I'm still thinking about it. Obviously, I mean, listen, I think Argentina is gonna be in the finals, so I will say that anybody who is playing against Argentina, I support. Period. 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 I don't care if you have to break that man's ankle during the final to get a fair match. Do what you gotta do to bring home the trophy, okay? Teach FIFA a lesson. I feel like that's fair. You got crooked refs, a president of, an association who's just, heart bleeding for Argentina. I mean, you gotta level the playing field somehow, some kind of way so you can win. Break his ankle. They'll take him off. You might lose a man. You'll be fine. They'll take some penalty kicks. But listen, if that's what you're gonna have to do to try and get a fair game, then beloved, do what you gotta do. I ain't mad. There's gonna be some investigations that come out of this World Cup that I'm gonna be watching. Definitely. Yes, I know FIFA is being investigated by the FBI. Or Argentina, I should say. An affiliate of the team is being investigated by the FBI. I am aware. But there are gonna be a couple things. There's gonna be a whole lot of shit that comes out of that Egypt game. a lot, and I'm looking forward to it. The FIFA and the International Olympic Committee are the most corrupt mafias on the planet. So, I think one of the things that they've deeply underestimated, it's ironic, right? You want visibility, you want the games everywhere, it's the social media age, blah, 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 blah. What comes with you wanting more visibility on the sport and on the event is everybody can see you. We saw that. We saw that, we saw that, we saw that, we saw that, we saw that. Everybody can see you. Governments are lodging complaints and starting investigations over real issues, real corruption. And I think it's fantastic. I love it. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic that, like, you know, the situation that happened with Mbappe, you've got a bunch of people, white French people all over television and the UK who are just like racism is bad and da 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 and we condemn this and da 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 and then you've got a bunch of black Europeans jumping on the internet like, really? Really? Motherfucker, you do it too. Don't get up here and act all moral high horsey because somebody basically called Mbappe the N-word repeatedly over and over, and you wanna perform how offended you are. You do it too. I love all of the discourse that's happening around all the hypocrisy and the corruption that is being called out and all the history that is being brought up, and that's what people don't think about. When you want eyes on you, that means everybody can see you, and some people just aren't gonna let shit go, and I think that's fantastic, and that's what FIFA deserves, all the smoke. FIFA deserves all the smoke from all sides. So, oh, you must be brand new and not know how politics works. That's your ignorance, not mine. Um, no, no, not really. What do you all think? I'm just yeah, this is where I'm at. This is the most Schrodinger's cat of a situation that we've had in a long time. Because a lot maybe you don't know this, but a lot of people don't know this. You know, Schrodinger's cat is not just about a cat in a box. There's a vial of poison in the box. So if we carry that over to this situation, the vial of poison in the Schrodinger, you know, equation is his heart. He appears to have had a massive cardiac arrest. And we don't know if that was precipitated by something else or if something else followed that event, right? That's all we know. Kiki said, I think he toe tagged on ice. So here's what I think. I do not think that Mitch McConnell is brain dead. I do think that one or more organs in his body can completely no longer function on their own. They cannot function on their own. Because this is why I think this. I think that if Mitch McConnell were brain dead and they were trying to hide that fact, that he would not be in the hospital. I think he would be at home resting comfortably. Because you can control that environment much more, and because it's a predictable palliative stage of end of life. You're not coming back to the hospital. Brain dead is brain dead. So you're gonna die at home. They can keep you hooked up to a ventilator, brain dead, at home. You can pay for that. You can pay for home hospice, all the equipment and all the stuff. And then you can control that environment. You've got private nurses. You don't have to worry about the security of the place that you're in because that's your place. So I think there is a medical necessity reason of why he's in the hospital as opposed to somewhere else, including hospice. He is requiring some kind of constant medical intervention to keep him functioning. And I think that's why there hasn't been a photo of him sitting up in his hospital bed smiling or sitting in a robe at the window in a hospital room smiling because I don't think they can show him. So that's where I think he's at. I think that he's at final stage organ failure. But you can be at final stage organ failure and be of sound mind. For whatever sound mind is, at his age. But you can be pretty much, all there. It's just there are parts of your body that are done. So, when it was time for my dad to die, he wanted to die at home. And the doctors thought They didn't think he would even make it to the house, let alone, you know, last a couple days to, you know, have a final beer with his friends and have final ice cream sundaes with his grandkids and have private time with his wife and private time with his kids, and you know what I mean? Colleagues that he worked with for a really, really long time, they didn't think that was gonna happen, and that did happen, and he had a beautiful death, and I had my hand on his chest when he died, and we had just had a conversation, and the conversation was getting less and less and less, but there was a point in time where I thought, "Oh, maybe he has slipped into a coma," and he said something that just, like, rocked me. I'm not gonna repeat it, rocked me and kinda broke my heart because I was like, "Oh, he's all there. He's all there. He's perfectly aware of what's happening around him. He's thinking, he's having his own thoughts right now." And one of the things that I learned about I've been around a lot of death from my child to, you know, mm, parents, grandparents, acute death situations out in life, and somebody you know, I've been around a lot of different kinds of death experiences. One of the things that was so fascinating about my dad's death was watching him go through the process of dying with a sound mind. It took a lot of energy and focus, and it was a death unlike I had ever experienced before, and it was hard to know that nothing can be done for this person who's perfectly capable and otherwise has all of their faculties. But at any rate, I digress. Yeah, with Mitch McConnell, I think he's in a complicated medical situation, and they're trying to keep him alive as long as possible, you know, or he just hasn't gotten to that stage yet where it's just like, you know, when you're hooked up to various, you know, machines for whatever your ailment is that are keeping you alive, those machines can do first of all, everything ages, right? Everything ages in the body. Things break down, they don't work anymore. Then you add rigor basically to those things that aren't functioning very well anymore. That does damage to them too, right? You don't have the quality of organ anymore to be able to function at the capacity it needs to function for you to stay alive. But the machine that is keeping that organ doing whatever it does has to function at that rate to keep you alive. So it's keeping you alive, but it's also damaging your whatever, your lungs, your, you know, kidneys if you're doing dialysis, your heart, whatever the thing is. So he's at the end of his life. And I do think there is fuckery afoot with them not just going ahead and saying he can no longer perform his official duties because that's really all we need to know. That's the ultimate question. Is you know, can he function and do his job? And I surmise the answer is no. And they don't wanna say that because the minute they say that, that's gonna trigger a bunch of shit, and they're trying to avoid that. Yeah, but, you know, there are a lot of procedural things that can be done to get around that. So, you know, there are a lot of there are competing interests here, right? There's dying and the process of dying, which goes on its own schedule. You know, the same thing happened with my son. He didn't die acutely in an instant. It was a process, and that was a horrible process. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. the process of a 3-year-old dying was the worst thing I've ever been through. But it's not convenient, and the body isn't always predictable. And, a lot of people think this is a terrible thing to say, but when my son finally died, I was relieved. I was relieved because it was a horrible process. Kiki coming through with the levity we always appreciate. Kiki talked to Mitch McConnell for 20 minutes this morning. He's a great listener and let me do all of the talking. Yeah, what's his name? Scott Jennings or whatever. As soon as I saw his tweet the other day, I was like, oh, buddy, you're cooked. I don't know what these people are thinking. I don't know who the fuck is advising these people, but this was not the thing to do. He put out his statement. Then he went on television. And he started off his comments with, "Yes, I spoke with Mitch McConnell for approximately 17 minutes." I said, "Boy, Jesus Christ, you're lying." I don't need to hear anything else. I don't need to hear anything else, okay? I don't need to hear anything else. I spoke to him for approximately 17 minutes. I said, "You're lying." You're lying. You looked at your phone and said, "How long did this phone call last?" It lasted for 17 minutes. We don't know who the fuck you were talking to for 17 minutes, but that's where you got the number from. And that's not colloquial. That's not how people talk. This isn't a deposition. If you all just had a friendly chat talking about everything from the weather to the, Revolutionary War to, how our kids are doing and what the fuck ever it was he listed off. If you were talking about all of these, what fuzzy slippers are you wearing today bullshit, that's not a colloquial term. That's not how regular people talk. I mean, also, they thought nobody on the right or the left believed him. Nobody. Nobody. Nobody believed him. Nobody. And that's why they had to try it again with another dude who was like, "Well, I've also spoken with Mitch McConnell. Have you now?" We don't believe you either. You know why? Because you're covering for the first guy we didn't believe. It was just so fucking basic, y'all. Math is not my ministry, but I can 1 + 1 = 2 with the best of them, okay? With the best of them. When political strategy just falls apart right in front of me, I feel embarrassed. I feel embarrassed. I'm like, "Jesus Christ, no, you did not." Because yes, they did. Yes, they did get together and have a conversation, or maybe it was a signal chat that somebody will leak later and we'll all read, or maybe they included a reporter in it and they're still writing up their 5,000 word story on how they know everything about Mitch McConnell's health because they were accidentally put into a group chat with Scott Jennings and a bunch of other idiots trying to come up with a way to convince the public that Mitch McConnell is fine. And who are they going to Red Rover over to the microphone to tell everybody? I talked to him. He's doing great. They decided that biscuit head ass fool, unconvincing, unconvincing, terrible statement, terrible tweet. Nobody believes you. And then they decided, well, let's pick somebody who has a little bit, maybe more integrity. Let's Red Rover him over. Same thing. Bounced right off. No, we don't believe you either. Pick up your boy. Go back. Go back. We want proof of life. We want proof of life and functionality. That's what it's come down to. We want proof of life and functionality. I mean, China has everything because, these people use personal phones and emails for everything. But anyway, I digress. We did a Snapchat for 17 minutes. Like, boy, that's when people should throw a tomato at you. That's when tomato throwing becomes appropriate. 'Cause you playing in our face. Boy, don't play in our face. That's rude. And you gotta do this for 4 more weeks, 3 more weeks? Good fucking luck. That's the other thing I'm thinking about. Like, if he's truly brain dead in the hospital and they're trying to play it off until, into next month, they are not in the proper venue for that. They're not in the proper venue to keep that secret. I don't care if every nurse has sworn on a stack of Bibles. No. You better move buddy up out of there. I honestly, I think Mitch McConnell has been dying for a couple years. Again, a death by natural causes for old people can be a very slow process, and it usually starts with, diminished capacity and function of your organs that keep you alive, and eventually, right, they deteriorate and they fail and you die. But sometimes that can take years. Kiki. Kiki said, I talked to Mitch McConnell last night. I'm not sure if he spelled the words on the Ouija board right, but he said he supports free healthcare for all and a free Palestine. Because why not? But yeah, I think he's been dying for a couple years. And that's his prerogative. Please don't tell me that's the last goddamn topic. Somebody come up with something better than that, beloved. Come up with something better than that. Oh, y'all be cracking me up in the Discord. Sorry. I see you, beautiful. Good to see you. Take care. This is what I'm saying. People don't pay attention to old people, but he's been dying for a while. Man, I saw was it Venezuela? Venezuela is begging England for some gold or something. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Well, my condolences. Belize says my mom had a massive stroke on a Monday and she passed the next day. She had the stroke reading her Bible. Wow. Wow. That's the other thing we don't know. Like, we don't know if something precipitated the cardiac arrest, right? Um, we don't know. And I do believe that there is a fine line, right? Because I don't think people's medical conditions should be public information. Um, yeah, I have really strong feelings about how much information about people is public information. But anyway, um, I don't really care what's wrong with Mitch McConnell. I don't care. I don't care about what's wrong with anybody. What I wanna know is, are you fit to fulfill your duties? If the answer is no, I don't care. I don't have a follow-up question. The answer is no. Okay, then get gone. Give up the seat. That's it. Move on. Oh my god. He's delulu. No. I don't have any faith in that. No, we haven't talked about it. We're not gonna talk about it. Hear me, chat. We're not going to talk about it because I have no idea what it is. And you remember the fuckery that got started the last time something came up and I didn't know what it was. So no. Donald Trump hallucinated a new terrorist organization the other day. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anything else? What else we got? Oh man, the Islamic Republic of Japan. I know Japan was like, motherfucker, Jesus Christ, keep our names out your mouth. Fuck. You know, just like, eh, do you have that Starlink chip in your head or something? Are you like AI hallucinating in real time? Is that the explanation for this? Is that what it is? They put the neuro link in you and you just AI hallucinating up there and it come out down here. Is that what it is? The fuck? Again, not fit to serve. Have a good day at work, beautiful. Oh my God. AI Teddy Roosevelt told him about it. I think he really wanted to bring that home. He really wanted to put that on his decrepit ass little janky. Yes, I said janky new stupid airplane and take that stupid AI puppet home. Be his new friend. Could put him in the Lincoln bedroom. And then you have the AI robot Roosevelt sleeping with the devil in the Lincoln bedroom. It makes perfect sense to me. Oh, well, congratulations. That was again, that was another thing where I was like, I'm embarrassed. I'm not even there. I saw that video. I'm embarrassed. I'm not even there. No. The no, he did not do that. Yes, an airport has been named after him in Florida. No, it's probably not one you'll ever fly into if you have to go to Florida. But we're glad it's in Florida. We like it in Florida because that means it isn't anywhere else. And that's fantastic. They can keep that shit and they can pay the licensing fees for his dumbass name on the airport too. That's creepy. That's creepy. Can we at least make them into, like, a little, like, game, that you would find at, like, a carnival? You know? Something like that. Genuinely, when I saw that, I was like, I immediately ceased to care. My opinion on it changed so fucking fast. I was like, "Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you." They put the shit in the president. That's great. He's an idiot, beloved. He's an idiot. I just know that they just refused to fly the plane. I know he was so mad. I know he was so mad, and I wanna know what precipitated them saying, "We can't fly out of this airspace in this plane," because that's what it comes down to. What happened? You flew there, but now you can't fly back out? So why can't you fly back out? Why? You're still flying back out, right? Okay. So what happened? Because that's what happened. That's what happened. Something happened. They got some kind of intelligence that said, "We can't fly this plane out of here." That plane is stupid, just like him. So, I thought that was hilarious. I really did. I thought that was hilarious. He gets exactly what he asks for, and then he's not satisfied because he has no patience, and they tell him they're gonna gift him this plane, and then he's like, "Well, I want it now because I hate Air Force One," and they're like, "Oh, it's not ready," and he's like, "Well, hurry the fuck up." So they hurry the fuck up, and then, it's delivered, and then, every fucking alphabetized agency in the United States government has spent the past 6 to 9 months trying to retrofit that shit to actually be an Air Force One. And he did the same thing. "I want it now, I want it now, it's not ready," and he declared it good enough and was like, "We're gonna use this one now." And then he got somewhere in the world where they were like, "Yeah, this one's not gonna do, we're gonna have to put you on the old one." And I know he said no. I know he said no. And I know they refused to fly that plane. He's a fucking idiot. And apparently he gets to keep that plane when he leaves office because it was a personal gift to him, even though it's Air Force One. I swear to God, my first day, if I were president after him, the shit that would be done that day, I'd even let him fly that plane to wherever the bumfuck he wanted to, Florida or wherever when he leaves the White House. Fly down there. Go ahead. Go ahead. Take your stupid ass little plane. The second he lands, government is seizing that plane. Oh no, we're gonna give it back because we don't want your fucked up plane. You know what we want? Everything inside the plane. That doesn't belong to you. Because Donald Trump, if you don't know what Air Force One is, it is a flying White House. And he would literally just use Air Force One and all of its technology to be his little so he could be a little there's no way they will allow for that. No fucking way. That plane will become a fight if he tries to keep it in its retrofitted form. Day 1, the second it lands, "Okay, we're gonna take all of our equipment back." You get to keep the plane. but we're taking all of the equipment back. He's fucking psychotic. Psychotic. No, baby. It's no longer considered Air Force One, but let's remember that Donald Trump was sending out, when he wasn't president, after he was president, everything he did was under the seal of the White House. Whenever he spoke at a podium with the seal of the presidency. Whenever he put out statements, it was under the seal of the presidency in the White House when he was not president. So he will try and fly that plane around with the United States emblem on it. So not only am I taking everything that's inside the plane, but you're taking that emblem off the plane. You're not gonna be flying around in a fake fucking Air Force One. Oh my god, are we really ending on this? Yeah, yeah, I saw this. If y'all don't know, a flight instructor in Argentina pieced out of a flight with a student on board. She had her pilot's license, but she did not have enough hours for solo flight. This is it. This is all we got. We started so high. We started so high. We started so high. Don't make me leave this live with this. This is all we got. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Do better. Somebody do better. Mm. Oh, this is hilarious. More than 20,000 phones were lost or stolen during the World Cup. Remind me who's playing today? I genuinely can't remember. Spain and Belgium. Oh, do I have a prediction for Spain and Belgium? Oh boy. I mean, I don't necessarily have a strong opinion about that. For funsies, I mean, I think people are giving the edge to Spain, unless something has radically changed. Um, I'm not too big on Cinnabon. If you give me a quarter of the frosting and I'm okay, but I don't like all of that frosting. So I can take, like, the little 4 minis and, like, a quarter of the frosting because it's not that serious, and also they gotta be fresh. Um, so, yeah. But anyway, back to today. Who are the stars of each? I have to get into football mindset to actually remember details about teams, and I'm not in football mindset, so I can't remember anything right now. Who's the star for Spain and who's the star for Belgium? So I can start to visualize some things in my head. Yeah, I saw somebody say, "Can they both lose?" And that would be really great. Here's the thing, I don't want Spain to win because they are predicted to be one of the winners of this World Cup. It's fuck Belgium for life. So, but I like upsets. I like it when things go against the status quo's narrative, when they just assume that things are a foregone conclusion. I fucking hate that. And I think some of them learned their lesson throughout this World Cup is these matches are not a foregone conclusion. And don't talk about these teams like they are. So I really like that. I'm kind of with Fateless. Who would I prefer to see go up against England? I don't know. It's the colonizer's court at this point in time. I don't really have an opinion. I think my overall like I don't want Argentina to win. And because homegirl started smoke with Mbappe, I've got some heart for him. Um, Even though I do not support the French team, I don't support France. Then again, I also like what England's players are doing as well. And I like seeing the moment when players display the potential that they know they had that other people were saying they couldn't get to. And Jude Bellingham is a perfect example of that. Like he is shining super fucking bright and I just love that. Um so I hate all of the teams, but I'm still rooting for everybody black. Especially if the racist narrative been fucking you over. So that's kind of where I'm at with the World Cup right now. And I want to see good matches. That's the other thing. I don't like snooze fest. I want to see good, dynamic, daring football. It's go for broke at this point in time. So play like it. And that's what I want to see. Yeah. Yeah, because straight up, it's fuck France and fuck England. 10 toes down, period, period, period. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. If France wins the World Cup, I will not be mad at all because there are players on that team that really deserve that. And they deserve that notch in their belt forever against everything that they have had to face playing for that club and dealing with that fan base and the media. And I feel the exact same way about Jude and a couple other players. Not a little cinnamon roll, you're so cute. He a little cinnamon bun. I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. Yeah, that's what I mean by yeah, I'm not, rooting for any colonizer country to bring the trophy home. Um, I'm just more excited that they've had to struggle to get to where they are now and that they are getting the shine that they deserve. Like, I think that's great. But I'm glad that there were definitely long stretches throughout this World Cup where the status quo realized, "Oh, this shit is not a foregone conclusion." There's good football everywhere in the world. And I just think every World Cup heretofore, we're gonna see those nations progress. America's team won't, but African nation teams will. So, yeah. I mean, any winner is gonna be insufferable, but yes, England will be insufferable. England will particularly be insufferable. Also, I think they will just be straight up fucking shocked. You know what I mean? Like, I think they will be proper shocked if they do it. I still think, you know, at least in the status quo's mind, France has the edge. England looks very, very strong. Um, but I think that people have been pleasantly surprised to see you have to see your team level up, right? When they're on a stage that requires that. And England has done that during this match. And I mean, I love that I have actual memories from this World Cup that I'm gonna actually carry with me heretofore. Like, Cape Verde versus Argentina and England versus Mexico, they set new standards in my brain for memories of the World Cup. Like, they leapfrogged over other, things that have happened in the past with the World Cup where it's like they take position in my mind of, like, memorable, 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 memorable moments. Like, this is the World Cup where the game changed. That's what I believe over time history will reflect, that this was the turning point for the World Cup to actually become more of a truly global competition by having much greater representation from Africa. Yeah, I'm not counting out Norway. I mean, they're a problem. I'm definitely not counting out Norway. I'm just talking about that's why I'm saying the status quo, like, stance on, you know, what has been said kind of up until this point, and all of that has been shaken up, and I'm really glad, and Norway is a part of that shaking of the narrative. Oh my god, guys, I just remembered something. You just reminded me when you brought that up, so thank you so much. I don't know what happened that made me forget this, okay? But I did not tell you all my for funsies silly little FIFA Drake little conspiracy theory in my mind. Because remember when there was a lot of chatter about Drake having first he was gonna headline this or da 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 da, but remember in the past 2 years, there was a point in time where it was like a foregone conclusion that Drake was gonna have some kind of prominent role with the World Cup, and then it never came to fruition. And they just announced they're, like, preparing for their closing ceremonies, and, like, they've announced Justin Bieber is gonna be there and da 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 da, but still there's been no Drake. Do you remember? Does anybody remember OVOs swearing Drake was gonna headline the World Cup? I have a theory that I was reminded of last night that I completely fucking forgot about. I think either I saw something on social media or somebody posted something in the Discord that made me go, "Oh my god, that's right, I forgot about this." I meant to bring this up to you almost bang on a month ago. A month and a couple days ago. I meant to bring this up, something happened, and I completely forgot about it until last night. Okay. Did you see Nike's multi-minute 2026 FIFA I don't know what to call it. Advertisement? Mini movie? It's like 6 to 7 minutes. It's got a bunch of players in it. It's got a bunch of celebrities in it. They released it, I think, on June 6th. Did you all see that? Right. They said he was doing the first time ever halftime show at FIFA. He didn't do that. There was an opening show. That was what's her name? The Mexico and England had a halftime performer. That wasn't that wasn't Drake. There have been a couple places that have intentionally done something in the halftime show, but Drake has not been a part of it. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get this off because it's so long. I think it will shut down the live. Let me give me a second, beloved. I'm glad we're down to a smaller group of people, so that I can talk to the real ones about this because this is just for funsies, okay? For funsies in my head. Hold on, let me go back through my history and find this video. Okay, pause it. Okay, I'm gonna get I'm gonna mute this, and then I'm gonna double time it so that I can find the spot quickly because then I can share it with you, and I can get that off. So give me a second if I'm frozen, I'm looking at other things. Okay. Just hold with me for a second, because it's 6 minutes, but I've got it on double time, and I literally can't remember where it is in here. I just remember I sat up and I gasped, and I was like, "Oh my god, what the hell?" It is but a brief moment, so I literally have to. Oh, there's Kate Scott. Like, literally everybody is in this thing. There it is. Hold on. Let me get it back to regular speed. I literally was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, hold on, hold on. Okay. I think I can get this off and they won't before they, like, stop my live. So hold on a second. I'm not gonna play the audio because it's irrelevant. And maybe that'll help. That's not Drake. That's not Drake. Iceman, freestyle. Harpo, who that man? One more time. I did have to look him up because I was like, I literally sat the fuck up. I saw Iceman fly across the screen and I sat the fuck up. I was like, wait a fucking minute. Wait a goddamn minute. And then I just ran it back and I watched it again. And then I fucking fell out laughing. Here is your Iceman as a part of the world. I said, this is the funniest shit ever. This is hilarious. I don't know why it's funny, but it's funny. No, this was done by Nike. This was done by Nike. It's basically, if you ever saw the NFL commercial where the football gets loose at the wedding and then the players go crazy and destroy the place, it's basically this, but they're at a studio where commercials and movies and shit get made. And they're supposed to be filming an advertisement for the World Cup. Somebody goes off script, then the ball gets loose, and then you get every fucking famous footballer still alive and a bunch of celebrity cameos, a couple of musicians, and then and buried in that, right? Long sequence of very clever footwork is this. And I was like, this is hilarious to me. I'm sorry, this is so funny to me. It's so funny to me. Like, so the closest that Drake actually got to the World Cup was because his album, it has the same title as somebody else's musical work that is actually featured in an ad for the World Cup. Like, did they think they were gonna get Drake and then they didn't get Drake, so they decided to troll him with a different Iceman? That's the narrative for funsies in my head. The narrative for funsies in my head is that it was supposed to be Drake, but something happened, or it was supposed to be a Drake song, but something happened. It was supposed to be Drake, but he was a diva and difficult, and they said, "You know what? Fine. We'll get somebody else and just troll the fuck out of him." Ah, God, that's funny. It's really funny. It's really funny. That's really funny. I just think it's funny. Which one? The right one or the wrong one? The right one or the wrong one. So yeah, the theory for funsies in my head is that it was supposed to be Drake, but he was a difficult diva, or they couldn't get his music cleared in time for this little section of the video. And they said, okay, you know what? Fine. That's fine. He wanted he wanted $1 billion to sample his music. And they said, you know what? That's fine. We'll hit up somebody else and we'll troll the shit out of you. Oh, that's how I choose to see this little moment. I choose to see it as a trolling of Drake, whether it is or whether it isn't. I don't really care. I think it's funny. So that's my little theory. My little theory was, yeah, he was supposed to have some kind of involvement. Something happened. It didn't work out. And here's the little Easter egg. This is what happens when you listen to malware. It sends you in the wrong direction. There's an Iceman. It's not that Iceman. uh, that doesn't actually really surprise me. I never really looked at Drake as somebody who I considered tall. I don't know what that really means. I don't know if I was assessing his actual height or, like his manhood. Hard to say. So now Central C on the op list, just like FIFA. Drake is like 6'3". Is he? Wow. Huh. Okay. Well, I guess he is tall. I mean, I'm, petite. So everybody is tall to me. But yeah. Mm, mm, mm. Well, that was funny. Thanks. Thanks for letting me get that off chat. I'm gonna go. Uh, it's good to see you, hang out with you. We learned new things, and wasn't that fun? Shout out to all of you. I hope you have a wonderful, awesome, fantastic fucking weekend. Remember to continue to root for everybody Black. Protect women in internet spaces. And I will see you all very soon. Peace.